Hey everybody, welcome back to Trek Yards. He's Commander Cockings,
He's Captain Foley.
and today we're talking about Tal Shiar, Romulan Hit Squad.
The Mega Special Ops Assassin people.
We're here to talk about their team and their tech today, specifically. We've seen them in Picard as well.
I was going to say, you might have recognised that they might have just exactly one for one copied the Picard weapons. But did they really? Well, we'll find out today. But the first shot, Stuart, is their introduction. Was a surprise, I think fair to say. They could have done anything with this situation. They beam in, they break the neutral zone treaty. Directs Halstead to fly into the neutral zone, to beam into the neutral zone, because the colony is right on the border of our side of the zone, which is going to be several light years long. So, double treaty breaking Romulans. What do you think when they beamed in?
Well, apparently they're not breaking the treaty, first of all, because apparently, according to the tactical map, they're actually in Romulan space at this station. So, whatever.
So the the Voyager fired torpedoes through the neutral zone into the Romulan side neutral zone.
No, the Dauntless did.
That's what I meant, Dauntless.
But yes, and those are new age tech torpedoes, long range torpedoes.
They're micro torpedoes, Stuart. They're not long range torpedoes. That's silly. They didn't say that.
Look pretty cool. The suits look very reminiscent of Kirk's orbital skydiving suit from the unused scene from Star Trek Generations, and the action figure that they made of that. So I mean, that's kind of cool. It's got the same look, and there's a lot of. Why is there so much like skydiving around elevators, space elevators? It happens all the time. Kelvin, lower decks, here.
Because it's cheap in animation. It's one of those few sequences you're just not going to be able to do in live action in the same way, unless you've got a multi-million movie where that's like an entire 10-minute sequence where you put budget in. See, I didn't think that, but I appreciate you saying that. I do more see the linking to the Romulan TNG costumes with the basic reflective square. It has a similar fabric feel, if not obviously literally the same fabric. But the tricky thing about these guys in general is that these are meant to be secret strike team, so they shouldn't look Romulan. That's the weird thing about them. To compare them is like, well, if they looked Romulan, that sort of defeats the purpose of them existing. So they shouldn't look at all Romulan. That's why the guns look nothing like anything Romulan, even close, because they're not meant to be looking Romulan. They're meant to be entirely different. But they still look a bit Romulan, though. If you put them in a lineup, I would have said, is that maybe? Although no green glows, which would have been the obvious other note. And capes. Capes are important. Stand issue capes. Yes. But though, a closer up look, I do like the details a lot. Always good animation where you can throw a helmet on somebody, because now you have the same character model with a helmet on, and now you have 4 people. Yay! Win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought the look looked fantastic, actually. It looks cool. And I love how she's got like climbing gear, like the rope, which they use later, actually, to jump down. So, yeah, it's not like it's going into a little pouch or something and it's just being replicated. I kind of like that because it's kind of bringing some realism to it. So,
yeah, they could beam to the skydiving outer atmosphere bit, then they have to jump into the atmosphere, and then there's no beaming, so they have to use, like I say, ropes. So it gets more and more low key as they go. And I do quite like the helmets because you can see the part of the forehead ridges line in it. There's not much you can do, but it does match the hairline. And it's a nice, gentle way of doing that. Although it does, those out there who are Mass Effect fans, the right view very similar to one of the characters I've now forgotten the name of because I haven't played it in a decade, but very close to one of them. You know who I'm talking about?
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Now, do you think they're a little bit too form-fitting? Because they almost feel like, or they're just very, very, very thin Romulans.
Both.
Because these are very thin Romulans.
It's fine. It's just tech. So put it on and kind of adjust your body size a little bit. I'm fine with that. That's cool.
The next shot, though, is a direct comparison with the maybe inspiration, at least the idea of them. Now, Picard itself is multiple years ahead. I think it's about 10 to 20, 15, 10 to 12 years. So it's a decent leg. These are obviously closer to Voyager, etc. But on the left, you have the sort of the wide in the close-up. On the right, you have the same exact group of team of evil strike self people, helmet and uniform.
Similar enough, I suppose. like the just the gray color overall, and kind of the chain mailiness of the jacket. I guess it's different. It's different enough that it's. Yeah, I wouldn't have necessarily drawn any parallels between these ones.
I would have said entirely different, Stuart. Personally.
Perfect.
I mean,
I was trying to be nice.
Yeah, because they could have made those blocks into lines, and that would have made them much closer. But then it wouldn't have looked Romulan, because again, the Picard ones are absolutely terribly Romulan design, because they're meant to be Romulan, and the helmet looks like just a generic biker helmet with no eye things. Just very weird. So I much prefer the Prodigy. Looks sci-fi, looks more advanced, even though it's 15 years younger. It was way better as a design. And they could have actually made the Prodigy helmet easier, you'd think, than the Picard one. There's less stuff going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But we already came here for the weapons, of course. Their rifle, which appeared in Picard. The oddly organic, oddly brown, oddly just terrible, terrible design for a Romulan disruptor.
It looks better in Prodigy, with the more sleek look and the red glow. It actually looks like something out of the old game Laser Tag that I used to, that I still have actually, especially with that red line along the side. But no, I like the Prodigy ones a lot better. But I don't know. I just the rifles feel way too big for a strike team.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah.
I don't think you want something that big doing what they're doing. But hey, okay.
Yeah, you'd think they only have pistols, like really nice compact pistols. That because if this thing gets lost, I mean they do work out. I believe in Picard they work out their Romulan weapons, which means they're not that stealthified. You know, yeah, it's weird. They're even, yeah, and they could have scaled them down in Prodigy just to make them look more realistic. Who would have known, you know? But yeah, weirdly awkwardly oversized. It's not as if they're like more powerful. They're just average rifles that do average things, you know.
I can see a difference though. The guy that's holding it in the lower shot, he's holding it in the wrong spot, because you can see in the upper one where the trigger is, where his finger should go, and even there's a trigger area that they just filled in.
That is so true.
It's actually it's a little different.
Yeah, and also the front grip is one piece versus structurally the unsound. Let's make it thin and let's make a slit. Who designed this? So it is a little bit different, but I mean very, very, very close. If this is an old legacy design and they were recreating it perfect, they'd probably done that anyway, just with a bad design.
Yeah. So I prefer the Prodigy ones for sure, but I don't know why they went so similar. They could have done something completely different.
And they could have done a hybrid. They could have taken, because I don't innately dislike what it is. It's just where it is trying to be, like where it's doing, right? But they could have taken that idea of the side grilling, which is weird, and like added that into actually a Romulan rifle or something if they want to make it more.
Yeah.
Don't know. And then the next, of course, is the pistol, which again is entirely un-Romulan. Very good as a comparison to the other weapon. And I believe in Picard, doesn't it come out? Does it do something?
I thought it did.
Yeah. But then
it collapsed down or something, but
then in Prodigy they just have it on their belt, as you can see. So this version does not. I don't see how it would anyway. But
I don't see how it would collapse anyway, even the other.
But I remember that as a concept.
I remember something about them too, but it's been a while since I've seen that. So interesting enough grip on it. I mean, ergonomic, kind of. It's neat enough. It's very similar to the blasters actually from the Black Hole. We've recently done our sci-fi weapons one.
Or Star-Lord's blaster.
Or Star-Lord's, yeah.
But I mean, hell of a one-to-one recreation. Although the cheat being once you model the top, you've modeled the bottom. So it's a little bit of an easier weapon to model. And it was nice to see them in the abstract of yay canon, but they're such terrible designs. I'm like, oh, Picard messed up Prodigy.
I didn't realize there were such good views of it on their belts, but
yeah, they're there. And in fact, as I've recorded this, these are pictures of the original Picard props because you can buy them. This is the one time we're gonna be able to say that. So these are pictures of the original props from the prop store auction. If you want to own this rifle and this phaser or this disruptor next week, you could. So there you go, a little plug for them. The once in a lifetime chance pretty much to buy these weapons if you love them.
Yeah, there are some issues with this episode, with some of the Romulan stuff and the neutral zone stuff and a few other little things. But it was cool seeing a kind of a Tal Shiar strike team, I guess.
In concept, yes.
Yeah, I just wish it would have been handled a little bit differently. But it was very almost felt generic, like
because they're not meant
sci-fi.
because they're not meant to be Romulans because they're stealth, which is tricky. Because how do you do a non-Romulan? Although then why she should have had a helmet on the entire. Does she have a helmet on? No, she does in the fight.
She never has it on, I don't think.
Not even the ground battle bit?
Oh, she only has it on when there's skydiving.
Okay, because that sort of defeats the object as well, because you shouldn't show your Romulan if you're a secret not Romulan team.
Yeah, she had it off when she confronted them on the ground, and the fight happened, so...
At least we have a canon no to can Romulan strike people have personal cloaks, because they would totally have used them. Because there's always been a question of when will they develop that. In Elite Force 2, there's the whole plot device about Romulan strike team having that. So it's kind of nice not to see them not have it, but totally justifiable if they did.
That being said, I wouldn't mind if they did, because it was kind of stupid of them to not leave somebody on the Protostar, considering they took out Jankum and Zero. So I hope there's one kind of skulking around the Protostar somewhere, using a personal cloak, and Zero can't detect... their mind because of the cloak or something.
They need to. It's a huge plot problem in the episode, so we're gonna give them credit. We're gonna give them hope.
They're not a good strike team. If they didn't. Anyway, that's it. I mean, those are the weapons. Take what you will from it. A few people actually pointed out that they were the same on my first reaction live last night. So comment down below what you guys thought about it. Did you notice them? What do you think of them? And what should a Romulan strike team look like? We want to hear your thoughts. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click the bell notification icon so you get notified when we upload and when we do lives, because we do these kind of discussions all the time. Sometimes we have more to say than other times, but hey, that's okay. We need your help on those. So join us for the lives, and we can all put our minds together into a huge collective.
And when you're there, you'll sense that voice saying, Super Chat, Super Chat, Super Chat, Super Chat.
Yes.
And you could, any amount, because those things fund the channel. Let us do these free videos for you all. The many of you that watch any type of content, from Picard to Lodex, to Prodigy to Stranger Worlds to Discovery, back to Picard, back to Prodigy, back to Lodex. It'll keep going. So super chat, super thanks, which is a super chat, just a one-time on any video from any of our many years of content, or join the channel monthly, Patreon, or join the channel on YouTube. It all absolutely mounts up, and we thank you in advance.
That's right. So until next time, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Adam Foley.
See you guys later.
Bye, guys.